Hello and welcome back to another classic WoW or classic TBC kind of video, where I want to talk about the future of classic WoW. So I guess it's going to be a classic WoW video. Basically, we're going to be looking at one Wowhead post for the Blizzard changing the world buffs in the classic era with the Chronoboon Displacer snapshot, which can basically take a snapshot of your world buffs and put them to use later on. I also want to talk about a classic WoW survey covering the cost of copying characters to classic era or classic stasis servers. So we're going to be talking about that, as well as the future of classic WoW, and a potential re-release or a fresh classic WoW. So let's get into it. Now the first post I want to talk about today is this one about the world buffs in the classic era, and how Blizzard are looking to change this for classic era. So I'm just going to reread some of what it says. I'm also going to link the entire post in the description of the video, just in case you want to check it out for yourself. So, hello everyone, we know that there's a lot of excitement for the Burning Crusade Classic, but we haven't forgotten about the Classic era servers. One of the defining features of raiding in Classic has certainly been the prevalence of world buff stacking, and while there are some interesting social effects, coordinating turn-ins, leveling alts, world PvP at buff locations, there's also been an obvious negative element to this. Once you're buffed, you are incentivized to log off and stop playing to preserve your world buffs. And we know this is the case because a lot of hardcore people have two characters of the same class that they can play. So basically, if you main a warrior, some people actually leveled up a second warrior as well to play during the downtime on their main warrior, because once you have all of the world buffs, you shouldn't really log in to your main, so you have to do other things. Basically, you are incentivized to not play the game, which is why a lot of people have started a second character of the same class so they can play in their downtime. And something people have been starting to do is to start doing world buffs on their second character as well, having to level up a third character of the same class to play during the downtime of their main and second character, and that kind of thing just builds upon itself. If you want to log off to go make dinner or put your kids to bed, that's completely fine and the timing works in your favor. But if you still want to repair your gear, shop for consumables, or in a dungeon with your friends, then it's not great to be losing precious minutes of those world buffs. Or worse, risk dying and losing them entirely. We've been wanting to do something about that side effect without completely abandoning our philosophy for WoW Classic. So we're going to try something new in patch 1.13.7, the Chronoboon Displacer. So basically they are going the route of some changes for Classic era. So yeah, just let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. I'm sure Blizzard will be most interested in knowing as well what the community thinks about this. It's going to be on the PTR very soon. So what exactly is this? Well, the Chronoboon Displacer is an item that you can buy, which takes a snapshot of your world buffs, such as the rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer, the Songflower, and etc., and saves them for use at a later time. Of course, we don't want to change things too radically, so it comes with some significant restrictions. While you are under the effects of the Chronoboon Displacer, you cannot benefit from any of the world buffs that it's holding for you. That keeps you from getting a second set of buffs, and then still feeling like you need to log off. Also, when you release the buffs from the Chronoboon Displacer, it puts them on a 1 hour cooldown, so that you cannot toggle your buffs on for bosses and off for the rest of the raid. So basically you just have to use it when you think it's time to raid. I'm not going to read the entire post, but I'm going to read the things that I think is the most important. So we're going to talk about how does it work as well. Basically we're going to read a little bit more. First, you collect all of your world buffs the way you normally would, getting your summon to a Dire Maul, a portal back to Stormwind or Orgrimmar for your rallying cry of the Dragon Slayer, a quick trip to Jojamba, whatever you want to say that one, Isle to turn in the Heart of Hakkar, and whatever subset of world buffs your raid expects or that you feel comfortable with. Then you activate your Chronoboon Displacer, which creates a supercharged Chronoboon Displacer in your inventory and an aura, which holds the captured state of your world buffs. You can mouse over that aura at any time to see which buffs are stored and how much time is stored on them. You can then go about your business secure in the knowledge that your world buffs are saved and ready for use when you want them or need them the most. When you're ready to restore them, simply activate the item in your inventory, and it will break the item or consume the item, releasing the stored aura back to your character, basically buffing yourself and consuming the item. And then how do you get one? Well, given the complex temporal mechanics involved, you obviously need to make a deal with a bronze dragon. Yeah, obviously, makes sense. And you can find a friendly one named Chromie located in Andorhal in the Western Plaguelands. Of course, she will likely want your help preparing the time stream first, but once you've helped her out with that, she will be happy to sell you as many of these items as you want. And having read through the rest of the post, I don't think there's a cost mentioned for this. I don't really know what to expect. Could be 1 gold, 10 gold, 50 gold, 100 gold. I have no clue. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts about this. It's going to be on the PTR very soon. Let me know what you think about this, first of all. I do think there's a couple of better solutions. It's a really good one, though. It's a really good one. One solution that I've been talking to a friend about is that maybe they should just give all of the world buffs become an item, so you still have to run around and pick them up, but they become an item that you have in your inventory. So like, for example, the Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer would be an item in your inventory, just like the Songflower and stuff like that. They would all be an elixir in your inventory that is consumed when you use them. It would be the exact same kind of effect that we're talking about here with this item, but instead of having one item taking a snapshot of your world buffs, literally all of the world buffs would be their own consumable item. So you go around, pick them up, and then you can just pop them whenever you want. That could also be one way of fixing it, but I do think this is a really good way. Once again, let me know down below. Next up, we're going to be talking about the new Classic WoW survey, which covers the cost of cloning, reporting, and botting. So Blizzard has randomly selected some users for a new World of Warcraft Classic survey. Images from the survey, am I saying that correctly? I hope I am, have been circulating online, where Blizzard is asking the community about an acceptable price for cloning services, how many times the report feature has been used, as well as how often the player encounters a bot. They're obviously looking at the bot issue in Classic WoW for Classic Era. They're also looking about how often people report these bots, and they are looking to see how much money they can make with the cloning. So here it is. This is the survey, or pictures from the survey itself, covering this is just a set price, by the way. They have put multiple of these in different surveys, and I'm going to talk about that very soon. But they're basically asking you if you would pay this price for cloning your character to a Classic Era server when a Burning Crusade comes out. For those of you who don't know, when the Burning Crusade comes out, you have two options, or I guess kinda three options. You can go the free-to-play route, where you have to make a meaningful choice whether or not to continue into the Burning Crusade, or stay in a Classic Era server. You can also cash out, and then copy your character to be able to do both. So in the survey, they are looking to see how much people would be willing to pay for this copying service. And in this one, it says 29.99, asks you if you're very unlikely, somewhat unlikely, neither likely nor unlikely, somewhat likely, or very likely. And then there's the botting thing as well. And then if you just scroll down on the post, it turns out that Blizzard has sent different amounts to different players, ranging from 9.99 to 39.99 for the cloning service, to kinda guesstimate how many people would be willing to pay which price, to figure out a price where most people are happy, I guess, and they make the profit they want. So if a lot of people say that they were very likely to buy it at 9.99, but everyone says very unlikely to buy it at $40, then they wouldn't price it at $40. That just makes sense, and I do think it's going to end up at between 9, maybe 19.99, I think that's kind of fair, but the cheaper it is, the better, of course, since I do think a lot of people will be using this feature. I don't think a lot of people will just stay in Classic Era. I think the people that are staying also will continue to TBC. So Blizzard has really revealed their plans at BlizzCon Online with the Burning Crusade Classic, Classic Era Realms, and a new cloning service, which I just talked about. Botting is also a major issue, blah blah blah. And here it is, some prices from retail as well, just to give you guys an idea of what these things could cost. So most character services on retail World of Warcraft are $25, $30, and then boosts are $60. So I do think this one could end up at $20 for the cloning service, and I kinda wanna say the level 58 boost will be either $40, $50, or $60. I do think 60 is going to be the most likely one for that one, but we'll have to wait and see. That is kind of all I wanted to talk about for these Wowhead posts, and now let's continue to the future of Classic WoW. This is just going to be a short outro for the video itself. I just want to talk about the future of Classic WoW, what I think will happen. As well as I just want to say, Classic WoW will have some changes on the Classic era servers, implemented by Blizzard themselves. They're showing us they're already doing the copying service for Classic era. We're getting those world buff changes, so something is definitely happening. They are looking to make changes that are positive for the community, based on the community feedback. So feedback is very important on that one. Once again, everything will be on the PTR very soon, so go and test it out and leave your feedback on the PTR forums. Now for the future of Classic WoW, I do think it's going to be mostly raiding. People are going to be doing raid logging and logging, speedruns, stuff like that. And I really do think we'll see a fresh Classic relaunch very soon. Actually, maybe not very soon, but maybe Phase 3, Phase 4, or maybe after the Burning Crusade as well, so at the end of Phase 6, we could see a fresh Classic relaunch. I do think Blizzard has to give this time so people have the excitement for a fresh Classic relaunch, as well as they shouldn't really push it in the middle of the Burning Crusade, so they have to find a downtime where there's a massive content drought for the Burning Crusade, and when nothing else is really happening. So, for example, in Classic WoW, that could be in the downtime between Phase 4 and Phase 5. I do believe that was a massive downtime, so Solheim didn't really put in a lot of content, and the content that did get put in wasn't really, it was a catch-up patch. So people that didn't really need to catch up, didn't really have much to do, people cleared their raids super fast, it didn't really add a lot of value. And I do think the Burning Crusade is going to have some of those patches as well, and adding a fresh classic in one of those patches could be a great idea. Or they could also just give us a fresh classic relaunch at the end of TBC, while we are all waiting for the Wrath of the Lich King classic as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. The links to the Wowhead post will be in the description of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe for more TBC content. I do have beta, by the way, for the TBC. So if there's anything you want me to test out on the beta, let me know down below. Join my Discord server, there's a link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.